The Goat House is back with the top 50 NFL rookies of the 2024 season. We're going to count them down from 50 to 1. Let's see who made the cut this year. We're going to start with number 50 and work our way all the way down to number 1. Here are the rookies that just missed the cut. Phenomenal rookie class, exceeded expectations. Tough to pick out just 50. 49ers receiver Ricky Pearsall coming in at number 50. If he got the opportunities like he got at the end of the year, all year, I mean, we'd be ranking him much better than 50 because he looked legit. Looks like a sure thing. Consistent separator. Incredible hands. Really excited about Pearsall. 49, Tyler Nubin of the Giants, their safety, was pretty consistent all year. He ended the year injured, so that bumped him down a bit. A little bit of a thinner frame, so in an injury at the end of the year, so his durability really his only worry. We'll see, but was very consistent for them. A couple Steelers, Mason McCormick filled in at guard for them, looked really solid. Peyton Wilson, linebacker at 47. He'd probably be much higher because he played so well, but he had less than 500 snaps, or the least amount of snaps, I believe, than anyone in my top 50 here. And snaps is pretty important because how involved are you throughout the year, as a rookie, how much you get on the field right away. When he played, he was really solid, though. And again, we knew how talented he was. It was just durability concerns is the only concern. Laiatu Latu was very solid, was flashy at times, but, a guy that had a lot more expectations maybe, but was good for them. Keon Coleman at 45. Missed some games in there, but especially when they targeted him, in the red zone, you could just see his ability that we expected. So a lot of upside there. 44, Titans corner Jarvis Brownlee came in somewhat early and had to start, and he was very solid. Like mid-season, he probably been ranked much better than 44. Was really tight in coverage. It felt like he dropped off a little bit at the end, but at the same time, it felt like the whole Titans team did, right? It just felt like the season was over and everyone kind of declined a little bit, but showed some promise there. Rome Odunze of the Bears at 43. He had some production and he had some moments. We're still kind of waiting to see that Washington dominant Rome Odunze. Didn't really see that, but again, some production there from him. 42, Renardo Green, the corner of the 49ers, had to fill in and was very tight in coverage, very sticky in coverage like we expected. Impressive. And Cooper Beebe, the Cowboys center, I thought he was a little better earlier in the year than later, but was pretty consistent, not getting beat in pass protection and solid, in terms of run blocking as well. He's at 41. Number 40, the Packers safety, Evan Williams. He was much better than expected, and then he had some really flashy games. Like, he had a few games where it's like, that's a top 10 rookie, but yeah, I don't know if we consistently saw that, but he was very solid and a pleasant surprise for them. Marius Mims at 39, you kind of worried about durability coming in the year. He's a little hurt. That was the issues at Georgia as well, but he stayed healthy once he started and helped out the Bengals a bit there. 38, Malik Mustafa had to start for most of the year for the 49ers. Downhill, a really good job attacking downhill, can obviously hit. So looks like another solid safety for the 49ers. Jackson Powers-Johnson for the Raiders, I thought was pretty damn consistent. Roger Rosengarten got better as the year went on, the tackle for the Ravens. And Terrion Arnold at 35. Yeah, you could kind of say he's a little underwhelming. And I think he just doesn't get enough love, to be honest, because what people don't realize, every team runs different coverage. The Lions run the most man coverage out of anyone, and everyone knows it. So he's in man, have to follow star receivers. There's so many in the NFL, play after play. I thought he did a pretty good job. I thought he got better as the year went on as well. Was looking really good in that Week 18 game before he got injured. Tyke Smith was very solid for the Buccaneers. Does a really good job in the slot like we saw in his career at West Virginia and Georgia. So Buccaneers did a pretty good job. We see multiple guys in this list. Taliese Fuaga, the Saints offensive tackle. Looks like a solid starting tackle for them for the future. I thought he started the year much better than how he kind of finished, but was very solid. Tarheeb Still, the corner of the Chargers, really had to step up for them, and he did very, very solid as well, so a pleasant surprise there. Jalen McMillan of the Buccaneers, a little bit of a tricky one to rank because he doesn't have an insane amount of snaps. I mean, he played a good amount, and then had a slow start, but he was kind of behind Godwin, and then when he had to fill in, he wasn't quite figuring it out right away. But then he really took off and consistent and getting open and scoring touchdowns and just big play after big play and better game after better game as the year went on. So he's a tricky one to rank. You almost want to put him higher because he was that much of an impact and he's so good, but you almost want to put him lower because I guess in terms of yardage, some other guys had more and he didn't play as much as them, but the impact and the talent down the stretch, and he did play quite a bit. So very much, he's a tricky one. You can argue he'll rank higher, you can argue rank lower, but I like McMillan. And again, I always like to bring up 2 years ago at Washington, he was the best of the three that were drafted. And last year, Odunze was by far the best. McMillan was injured for most of last year, so I think people kind of forgot about him. So that's a stud right there. The Buccaneers got one with Jalen McMillan. Coming in at 30, the Giants corner, Andrew Phillips. Another tricky one to rank because, man, when he was healthy, when he was on the field, he was damn good. But, yeah, he was in and out of games, injured a little bit. With his play style, it's press, come up, attack downhill, and hit you as hard as I can. You need those guys to kind of stay healthy. It's a little scary kind of going forward. Maybe another Witherspoon type player, but that's why you can argue because the play when he was on the field, rank him higher, but in and out of games, missing a bit. He played most of the games at least, but you could argue drop him down because the lack of availability, I suppose, but he was really good when he was in. 29, Caleb Williams of the Bears, the first overall pick. He's unique on this list, unlike the other ones, I'd say, because everyone else on this list, the common take is like that guy, those guys, they had a great rookie season. That's why they're on the top 50. Caleb Williams is a little different. The common take is underwhelming, probably because he was the first pick, and actually struggled a bit. Struggled at times, picked up some bad habits, held on to the ball too long as well, but man, he still had those flashy Caleb, moments. He had a bad situation there with the Bears. I'd say really not at receiver, but at offensive line with coaching. I mean, they're firing this guy, firing that guy. Again, still made some plays, still kept plays alive. Didn't turn the ball over a ton. I guess you could argue because he wouldn't throw the ball early in plays and try to make tight window throws. But, there is some good there, and they ended the year on a high note. But, again, since there was quite a bit of struggle at the same time, I felt like 29 was the highest you possibly could rank him here. But a lot of upside there with him still going forward. 28, Mikey Sainer, still the slot corner of the Commanders. Pretty consistent all year. Very, very solid, big-time playmaker, breaking up big-time plays. Felt like he did get better as the year went on as well in the playoffs. Excited to watch him. 27, Byron Murphy, the Seahawks first-round pick. I think he had a sneaky good rookie year. I think the expectations were super high because he was arguably the best defensive player in the draft. And if you just look at the basic stats, they're really underwhelming. So I think people aren't talking about him for that. But man, when he was out for a little bit, and then when he came in and was like the starter and got a lot of snaps, the Seahawks defense took a leap. They went from one of the very worst run defenses to one of the better ones and a sneaky good defense. So I thought he did a phenomenal job. Shedding blocks, collapsing pockets, collapsing gaps, and then helping his teammates. I think he really elevated his teammates around him. That was the big part. So he did much better than what people were talking about. Xavier Worthy, a little bit of a roller coaster rookie season, the Chiefs receiver. Started the year off, week one, boom, this guy's a threat on the Chiefs team, and they're still using him. They're trying to get him more involved. Him and Mahomes can't connect. Worthy is got his foot out of bounds, running out of bounds when trying to catch the ball, mistakes, and then boom, all of a sudden, he's a huge factor. They're using him on end arounds, they're using him on screens, they're using him downfield. He's getting open everywhere on the field, can play outside in the slot. So down the stretch where the Chiefs got really, really good, he was not just productive, he was a major factor, a game plan nightmare. So put it all together on the year, there's some things as a wide receiver he can work on, but man, really productive, really sneaky good. So Worthy at 26. Graham Barton, 25, the Buccaneer center. I thought he got better and better as the year went on, pretty consistent. Didn't hear his name a ton. I think it's almost a good thing when it comes to guys like that. Tyrone Tracy at 24. He had just some fumbles here and there. Other than that, super productive. We know he can catch the ball out of the backfield as well. Had the big playability. Looks like the Giants got their future running back. Nate Wiggins at 23 did a phenomenal job for them. Obviously, known as a playmaker guy. And you can see by his play style, even when he wasn't getting interceptions, like the way he attacks the ball, like this guy's a playmaker. And then he gets a pick six at the end there, towards the end of the year. Is that week 17? So this guy's got playmaking ability in him, and he did a very solid job for the Ravens. Dominic Pooney, there's so many good rookies. They're seeing these like Wiggins, Pooney down here at 22, 23. It just shows how good the class is. Pooney, very consistent, especially as a run blocker. The Niners offensive line around him is not too good. I know Trent Williams a star. He was out for the stretch down the stretch, I should say. Pooney still held his own, did a very, very good job for them. J.C. Latham at 21. For most of the year, he looked like a top 10 tackle. He was giving up some sacks. He was getting beat a little bit more down the stretch. And again, we talked about it at Brownlee. We talked about it with the whole Titans team, it felt like guys were giving up and everybody on the team was declining. So maybe it was just that situation, but I thought he played like top 10 or maybe borderline top 10 rookie for the Titans for, through midseason, a little bit more than midseason. Wasn't thrilled with the way he played down the stretch, but you could see this is a ball player. They got themselves a long-term left tackle, even if they want to move him back to right. I mean, that would be fine too, but he looked really good at left tackle. But yeah, had a chance to be much higher than this, but a really good rookie season. Number 20, the center of the Steelers, Zach Frazier. Looks like they got a sure thing center, one for the long-term future. Seems like the best centers in the NFL are always found around that range of the draft. Like Creed Humphrey, Zach Frazier. Was very consistent. I don't know what more you can ask from him. Just thought other rookies were a little bit more flashy, I guess, more of an impact, more important positions. That could be the difference, splitting them up. Kalen Bullock, Texan safety. Man, he was a good playmaker at USC, and it carried over. People worried about his tackling. People, worried about him, the transition over the NFL, playing big boy football. But, man, he's continued to be a playmaker. He was fantastic. Not every snap was obviously perfect, but again, he was a game changer for the Houston Texans, so it looks like they got one there. Chop Robinson really came along as the season went on. Looks like a legit pass rusher. People were worried about the lack of production at Penn State, but if you watched him, he had the traits. He was so explosive, and that's carrying over, and he's already more productive than he ever was. He's got a bright future. Drake May at 17. I mean, Drake May looked super flashy, super good, especially getting thrown in that situation with a terrible supporting cast. I mean, he makes throws that not too many. I mean, it's the guy. You either you can make the throws or you can't, and it's you have it the whole time in your career, or you never have it. And he's one of those guys that has it, right? And that's what really stands out. You already hear about coaches, think that Patriots job's appealing because of this guy right there. I would love to rank him higher, but finishing, at the end of games, and it's not really all his fault, but taking care of the ball a little bit better right at the end of games. I mean, he even had some interceptions where the receivers had it in their hands and then all of a sudden ends up in a defensive back's hands. So a little unlucky, but if they would have finished a little bit better, in those sweet spots of the game, he'd be ranked a lot better. But 17 in this rookie class, pretty damn good. Didn't start the whole year. I think his upside is through the roof. Really excited about him. Marvin Harrison Jr. at 16. Obviously a really good rookie season. At the same time, a little underwhelming just because he had random games where they were underwhelming. Yeah, you expect a little bit more. Maybe he could have caught the ball a little bit better. He just wasn't like that dominant player. But the games he was on, he was that dominant player, getting open, tracking the football, making the incredible catches, in tight spots along the boundary in the end zone. Obviously racked up some touchdowns. So I expect a little bit more. We're gonna get a bit more, I think, going forward. He's at number 16 after a good rookie season. Number 15, another Texans defensive back corner, Kamari Lassiter, was very solid for them. Obviously sticky in coverage, got downhill, was a playmaker as well. So it looks like the Texans got a hell of a corner duo, but a couple rookies in the secondary that look really, really solid. Obviously, the only question with Lassiter coming out was his speed. He looked plenty speedy enough to me. Hell of a ball player. Cooper DeJean of the Eagles, their slot corner, was very good for them. He was a little bit of a stretch early where he didn't play, but once he started playing, he still played majority and more than that of the season. When he played, he was very, very solid. Only a couple hiccups. Titans defensive tackle T'Vondre Sweat was one of my draft crushes, and man, I think I was right about that one. He looks absolutely legit. Just eating up double teams, collapsing the pocket, just dominant, stopping the run. Really elevates his teammates around him. So, he had a few games in there where it was like, this guy is a problem. He is a problem. It actually started right away in week 1, too. So, really excited about. He's not going to light up the stat sheet. Doesn't need to. Really excited about his future. Him and Jeffrey Simmons in there. Edgerrin Cooper, man, when he was on the field, he was absolutely dominant, it felt like, especially down the stretch. I mean, there isn't a long list of NFL linebackers that really stood out. I mean, he's going to be one of them, actually. Not just the rookies, the NFL. The Packers defense was much better with him in. I mean, he's just more than just an off-ball linebacker to me. Like, there is so much to his game, so flashy, so rangy, gets downhill. The run defense much better with him in. He ended it with his stock up. Like, he was getting close to finishing like 20s or 30s even the rankings. Yeah, he really boosted himself. Braden Fisk of the Rams, production monster, really got after the quarterback this year. Wish, it could be a little bit more consistent shedding blocks in the run game. And otherwise, because the production says maybe top 5 even but maybe that's the little bit of, that's kind of keeping him out. But 11 in this rookie class, I mean, a legendary rookie season and in phenomenal production for Braden Fisk. Once again, the Rams were able to find defensive rookies, but just find rookies in general. It's just kind of what they do. On to the top 10, we got a couple of Chargers here. Number 10, Chargers offense tackle Joe Alt, a phenomenal rookie season, was very consistent, for them. And I mean, the big thing with Alt here is people don't talk about it enough. His upside is actually insane because him going into Notre Dame, like in high school, he was a tight end / defensive end. Notre Dame knew they were going to move him to tackle, and he was lights out right away. Point of all that is he has not played the position like, the guys that are this good, this fast, played the position since they were like 5 years old or around that range. Probably exaggerating a little bit, but the point is, I mean, insane upside here, a freaky dude. So excited about him. Ladd McConkey, when he was on the field, was lights out. Maybe already one of the better slot receivers in football. Super consistent, very tough after the catch. Yeah, durability is really the only concern there, but just big play, such good vision after the catch too. I mean, incredible. The more and more I watched him during the year, like later in the year, more recently, I should say, just getting better and better. Look like such a smart, polished, good, dominant receiver. Quinyon Mitchell, number 8, fantastic year for the Eagles corner. He proved that he can press, he can be physical. You want to see more of it, but he didn't really do that at all at Toledo. So that was really the only knock. Lockdown and coverage, really good in zone, and which we kind of knew about coming out of Toledo. There was a stretch where he was in contention for all these guys. Were in contention for number 1. And I was ranking them, around that range as well. I thought, we're splitting hairs with the top 8 guys. Just the last few games, he probably wasn't as good as most the year, and most of the year is what matters most, and he was fantastic. So he comes in at number 8, but was very close to being higher. Bo Nix comes in at number 7, a pleasant surprise here. The Broncos rookie quarterback was fantastic. Big playability, really elevated the Broncos in general, but their offense especially there, doing a good job rolling out, throwing on the run was very, very impressive. Just smooth. That's what I want to say with Bo Nix. Just the process of a play is just comes natural and so smooth to him. So that was the best part. He midseason he really got going. He was rising up. Down the stretch, he actually maybe made flashier plays, but he also had some misses where they could have won games and had a little bit more interceptions, so that kind of bumped him down a little bit because he was in contention for number 1. But very, very impressed. Malik Neighbors ended the year on a very high note. I mean, he was unstoppable at the end there, kind of how he was early season. Then he was injured for a little bit. Then he was dropping the ball when he came back a little bit. So if it wasn't for that middle part injury and some drops, because he did have a kind of a high drop percentage for NFL receivers, he could have been number 1. He really could have been. But when most of the season he played great, and especially at the end here, when he showed that he could be that elite player, that next little bit different style of player, but Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, that next star LSU receiver, like he's on his way of being elite. He shows that flashes right now. Just be a little bit more consistent catching the ball, and he's number 1. The big top 5, the Buccaneers running back Bucky Irving comes in at number 5. The rookie running back from Oregon did not disappoint. I mean, it was a matter of them using him more, and then when he finally was like the starter, giving him the ball more. I mean, there was games where I'm calling for the Buccaneers to run the ball more because it's working better in the pass, and they could have won or they could have put teams away a little better if they did that. So it's just kind of the matter of that. He is so explosive. Once he gets that handoff, he shoots through the hole, and he can make people miss. He can run people over. He's a problem, and it's just again the matter of the Buccaneers just using him even more because he is that good. So I was pretty high on him, but I'm kind of regretting not having him as running back 1 out of the rookie class. But it was absolutely impressive. Those are my favorite running backs in the NFL. When they get the ball, just explode to the hole. Don't think, don't hesitate, don't bounce around, don't wait for, don't bank on something special like magical happening. Guys that just go. Like, I'm going to make the hole if it's not there. But if it's there, I'm going to hit it every time. I'm going to hit it with violence. I love those types of backs. So, big fan of Bucky Irving. Was very close to being number 4, but Jared Verse was the best defensive rookie all year. Actually, a little bit of a battle with Mitchell, but obviously a problem. We knew he was polished stopping the run. We knew he was polished, being physical. with the bull rush, but he got better. He added more to his game as the year went on, was a disruptor. I thought he was you wish the sack numbers were a little more, even though they were solid, but man, he was so much more than that. He got after the quarterback. He was getting after the quarterback all year, like causing pressures all year. I actually thought at the start of the year, I wasn't ranking him this high because he was missing tackles. Like, he would win reps and he would just whiff or put himself in a bad situation. So I saw potential. Like, this guy's got it. He's winning reps. Just got to finish a little bit better. And he was doing that as the year went on, like better and better and better. So, and that put him in position to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Brock Bowers, rookie, record-breaking rookie tight end. It's tough not having a guy like that at number 1. It was a battle between 2 and 3, even 1 for him as well. But yeah, the way he moves is not like your normal tight end. The way he separates and how tough he is after the catch. I mean, an absolute elite rookie here. Already one of the best tight ends in football. I thought Kittle and then Bowers probably the best 2 on the year. He was all pro right away, so fantastic. Brian Thomas Jr. at number 2. Man, he got off to a good start. We knew he was good. I was saying he's more in the conversation with the top 3 than people talk about here. Everyone knew he was good, but at the same time, what did he do at LSU? He was pretty much just dominated the sideline. Just go deep, catch the ball down there, big playability. Usually those types of guys, it takes a little bit of time for them to add more to their game at the receiver position in the NFL. Didn't take him any time at all. Week 1, just getting separation was much. People say he didn't face press enough. Could he separate off the line? Yes, he can. He got separation. He won on different routes. He was a big play waiting to happen. He was, showed his speed. He was a problem after the catch with the vision, with being able to slip tackles, outrun guys, racking up touchdowns, racking up yards. Just a big time playmaker for the Jacksonville Jaguars. No matter, the crazy thing is Lawrence comes out and it was like, oh no, he's going to take a hit in terms of like that top rookie. Nope, maybe for a week, and then he was just dominant. So he even got better with a way worse quarterback. So super impressed with Brian Thomas Jr. Those LSU receivers are something. This guy has a bright future. And Jayden Daniels has to be number 1. The Commanders rookie quarterback, doing what he did through the air, on the ground, being a winner, being able to overcome so many things, being able to elevate his team. Once he played better, the whole team played better. Again, just won in so many different ways. And there was a little tiny portion of the season where it's like, oh God, teams are kind of game planning for him. Maybe other rookies are going to pass him up, like Brian Thomas, like Brock Bowers, Jared Verse, guys like that. Adjusted, figured it out, found ways to win football games. Even in games like the Eagles game, had a few turnovers. If you can put the team on your back and say, I'm going to go out and do this, I'm going to make the plays to win the football game or give us a chance to win the football games, these football games, then, I mean, that's something. You got yourself a quarterback then. So that's what Jayden Daniels did. So no question has to be number 1. Being that quarterback, leading them to the playoffs. Smart, too. Smart quarterback, being able to check at the line, read defenses, check at the line, make big-time plays. Very, very, very impressive. Again, the only thing with him is holding up because it's thin frame and takes a lot of hits, and did a great job of that in his rookie year. So my rookie of the year pick, but it's tough not going Thomas, tough not going Bowers. I mean, these guys are unreal. It was a exciting, phenomenal rookie class. People at the time of the draft were going, is this as good of a class as it normally is? And they proved those questions, wrong if anyone doubted them. So people were kind of saying some of the same things about this next class, and it is top heavy, but I know the talent is as good as ever in the NFL and college. These guys are smarter, more athletic. Sometimes you question smarter, but I mean, just freakish players, freakier than ever. So I'm really excited, and we have you covered for the draft as well. We have a recent updated mock draft up. We have free agency coverage, anything NFL, playoffs, off season, everything. We have you covered. So subscribe, turn notifications on. You will not regret it. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. Important links put in the comments. Gonna do it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.